Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be taking you through how to solve a quadratic equation, or it's also termed as finding the roots of a quadratic equation. So let's begin over here with what are the methods. The first method is known as factorization, or it's also termed as middle term splitting. Next, you have a method called completing the square form. And the third one, which we call it as formula method. In this video, we will be focusing on the factorization method or the middle term splitting. So let me just take you through some examples and how it works. Let's say you have been given x square equals 5x. So what do you do here? You can say this can be written as x square minus 5x equals 0. And we can see that the general form of the quadratic equation is given to you as ax square plus bx plus c equals 0. Over here, you have the x square term, you have the x term, but you don't have the constant term. So you say in this case c equals 0. When you don't have a constant term, how to factorize it? What you can do, you can see that x square can be written as x times x minus 5x equals 0. Now from these two terms, I can take 1x common. So you are left with x minus 5 if you take x common from both. So this is equal to 0. Now you can use the null factor law that states that a into b will be equal to 0 when at least one of them is 0. So this is the statement of null factor law. So you can state that either x equals 0 or x equals 5. So we say these are the two roots or the solution to this quadratic equation. As the highest degree of the polynomial is 2 here, you say it's quadratic. Now it has two solutions. So root also means that the solutions, that is x equals 0 and x equals 5, when you substitute back in the original equation, you will get the left hand side equals right hand side. Or if you have the equation in this form, you will say it's the left hand side will be equal to 0 when I substitute x as 0 or x as 5, right? Now let's take another example. Let's say you have been given x square minus 16 equals 0. This will be considered as a quadratic as the highest degree of the variable here is 2. And if we map this with the standard form, that is ax square plus bx plus c equals 0, you can see that you have the x square term and you have the constant term, but this x term is missing. So when the x term is missing, how do we do it? X square can be written as x into x and 16 can be written as 4 square. Now you can use the rule, that is a square minus b square, and the expansion of this is a plus b times a minus b. Now if I use this rule here, you will write this as x plus 4 times x minus 4. This is equal to 0. Now again you can apply the null factor law. So on applying the null factor law, you get either x equals 4 or x equals minus 4. Okay, the solution for this is here and the solution for this is here. So you get two solutions. So either x equals 4 or x equals minus 4. Right? So we have seen two cases of factorization when the constant term is missing and now when the x term is missing. So now let's take an example in which you have all the three. Let's say we have been given x square minus 8x minus 6 plus 16 equals 0. So in this case, we say the x squared term is the first term, the x term is the second term or the middle term, and the 16 is the third term or the last term. Okay, when you have all the three, that is x square term, x term and the constant term, we say x square is the first term, 8x is the middle term and 16 is the last term. So how do we factorize this? Now, so what you can do over here is, there's a rule, we can split the middle term into two parts, let's say ax and bx, such that the sum of the two splitted terms, that is ax plus bx, will be equal to minus 8x, and the product of these two terms, that will be ax into bx, will be equal to the product of the first and the last term, that is nothing but x square times 16. So you obtain a plus b is equal to minus 8 and a into b as 16. As you can see, x into x will give you x square and you can cancel them. So this two should be true. We have to find the values of a and b. So how do we do it? So the easiest method is, we take the product thing, that is 16 over here, and we try to split 16 into two factors such that on addition of those two factors you should get minus 8. So if we do that, let's start with the factors of 16. Let's say let 1 and 16 be the two factors. When I multiply 1 to 16, you get 16. But if you add 16 to 1, you get 17, or if you subtract 1 from 16, you get 15, which is not equal to 8. So we will not consider this case. Next, we can say 2 when multiplied to 8 gives you 16. Do I get minus 8 or plus 8 if I add or subtract 8 and 2? You say it's no. If I subtract 2 from 8, you get 6, or say 8 from 2, you get minus 6. Similarly, if I add, I will get 10 or minus 10 if they both are of negative signs. So this is also not working. So with 3, you can't get 16. 3 into an integer factor won't give you a 16. So let's try with 4. So you can say 4 into 4 gives you 16. Now if I take minus 4 and minus 4, you say you obtain minus 8. So you will say the value of a will be minus 4 and b will be minus 4. So you can write it as x square minus 4x minus 4x plus 16 equals 0. So you will say this is your ax and this is your bx. Now you will take common the term from the first two as well as take whatever is common from the next two. So you can see the first two terms, you can take x common and you will be left with x minus 4. Whereas from the next two terms, you will take minus 4 common and you will be left with x minus 4. This will be equal to 0. Now you can see x minus 4 and x minus 4 is there in these two terms now. I can take x minus 4 common and write it as x minus 4. So this is equal to 0. So here you see the factors, if I use the null factor law, will be x equals 4 or x equals 4. So you say both the factors are equal. So here there is one factor that is occurring twice. So you will say x equals 4 is the only solution to this equation. Alright. So let's take one more example. Let's say you have been given 2x square minus 7x equals 39. So what should be our first step? We will keep all the terms on the left hand side. So we can rewrite this as 2x square minus 7x minus 39 equals 0. Now our objective is to split the middle term into two terms such that the addition of the two terms will give you minus 7x and the product of the first and the last term will be equal to the product of the splitted terms, that is ax and bx, which we need to find out. So the product of first and last term, that is 39 or minus 39 into 2, will be equal to minus 78. So we have to split this into two cases. So if we look for the factors of it, you can say 1 into 78 gives you 78. Let's not consider the negative sign. We can adjust that while taking which one, either A is positive or B are positive, right? 1 times 78 is 78, and you can't obtain 7x by adding these two. Okay, so we will not consider. Next, we will say 2 into 39 gives you 78, which is again like if you add this 2, you won't obtain minus 7 or 7, right? Next, we will take with 3. When 3 is multiplied to 26, you get 78. So addition or subtraction of this don't give you 7 or minus 7. If I take next the value of 6, what do you obtain? 6 when multiplied to 13 gives you 78. Now as you need to obtain minus 7, so you will say the larger term will have a negative sign. So you can write this expression or this quadratic equation as 2x square minus 13x plus 6x minus 39 equals 0. So now taking this as one pair and this as one pair, I can take x common from the first. You will be left with 2x minus 13 plus you can take 3 common from this. You will be left with 2x minus 13 equals 0. Now you can take 2x minus 13 from both common. So you will be left with x plus 3 equals 0. So the roots over here will be x equals 13 over 2 or x equals minus 3. So let's just go through it again. What we did, we have kept everything on the left hand side and we obtained this expression. Now the middle term has to be splitted into two terms such that the addition of this two terms will be equal to minus 7x. And the product of the first and the last term, when I say product of the first and the last term, the x square coefficient into the constant, that product should be equal to the product of the splitted terms. As we will obtain x square when I take the product of the two splitted terms, right? So we are just considering the integer part. So it will be minus 7x. So in order to do that, we take the factors of 78 and we test, like in which case on adding you get 7. So we obtain the result over here that 6 times 13 gives you 78 and minus 13 plus 6 will give you minus 7x, right? So we can write the factors in this form and then make pairs of the first two as one term and the next two as another term and take common, and we obtain a common factor in both. After we do that, we are left with this, and we can use the null factor law to get the two roots or the solution to the equation. Alright, hope you like this video, and if you have any doubts, please reach out to me by posting a comment in the comment section. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel to get to be updated with the new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching.